Thumbs up if you can see me. Thumbs up if you can hear me. So y'all can hear me and see me. Okay, this is great. This is great because we was having some technical difficulties over here. All right. 1 second, guys. Okay. Y'all, in real life, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly because I thought I was supposed to be the only person on the screen, and I see all y'all. In real life, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly because I thought I was supposed to be the only person on the screen, and I see all y'all. In real life, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly because I don't know either. 1 second. Boom. Boom. I feel like I'm doing a Zoom call. This is wild. One second. It's gonna be a great show. Don't worry. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong here.
Can you hear me, Keisha? No? Okay.
Okay, so apparently I'm doing this wrong. It's okay. We're gonna keep going. Because all of you are on the screen at the same time. You know what? It's 6:04. We're 5 minutes into, almost 4 or 5 minutes into the show. So we're gonna get it popping and keep it going because I don't know how this works, but we're gonna figure it out. As you can see, guys, it's my first show. And yeah, I feel like I'm on a Zoom call. I was under the impression that it was supposed to be only me on the screen, and I see everybody. So that's fine. You know, it's cool. We're gonna keep it going. So let me start the GarageBand so we can actually start recording the podcast. All right, y'all ready to start the show? Thumbs up. Oh, great. What's up, guys? You're watching Kickin' with Keesh. My name is Keisha Carter, and as you can see, this is my first Soul Sunday Get Vocal show, episode 1. So you guys are in for a great treat. Welcome to the show. Please subscribe to my YouTube at Kickin' with Keesh. If you're listening on podcast audio platforms, you can hear me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Overcast, Castbox, and Google Podcasts. So there should absolutely be no reason that you cannot hear my podcast, whether you have an iPhone or an Android or TX89 high school pre-calculus calculator. There should be no reason why you shouldn't be hearing my podcast. As well as, if you're watching me visually, you're watching me either via Facebook or via YouTube, as well as via Get Vocal. every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Let's have a great show. Now, this is an interactive show, so please respond with messages, chat it up and get vocal, talk back to me. Our business promotion for the day is one of my favorite body therapy companies. So the company is called Moonbeam Body Therapy. If you've listened to any of my podcasts, you've heard me promote it before. Moonbeam Body Therapy is an earth-conscious self-care, mental and physical maintenance company out of Houston, Texas, that was created by Miss Mariel Thomas. This amazing young lady is an educator and an all-around creative. She created Moonbeam Body Therapy as a form of self-care to help decompress from her day job. Her company solely focuses on all natural products that are clean and free from harsh chemicals and additives. Moon Body Therapy is for the earth-conscious person who believes in being kind to themselves and kind to the earth. All packaging is recyclable, compostable, and responsibly sourced. And so, as soon as I figure out, and the Moonbeam Body Therapy Instagram is at Moonbeam Body Therapy. The website is Linktree/Moonbeam Body Therapy. And Miss Mary Thomas is our CEO of Moonbeam Body Therapy. And I have free gifts to give away from Moonbeam Body Therapy as well. I actually want to keep them. But I'm not going to be selfish. These are gifts for my viewers. And so at the end of the episode, I will figure out a question for you guys. Oh man, yeah, real life want to keep this now. At the end of the episode, I will figure out a question for you guys to answer. And then whoever gets the correct answer can get the Moonbeam Alcohol Sanitizing Mist. It's a 2-ounce spray. So there's that. Mind you, I'm mad jealous. Like I really want to keep it, but I'm not gonna be selfish. So we got the sanitized Moonbeam Body Therapy spray, and it smells good, as well as Okay, don't laugh at me. Ellipticus. Eucalyptus. All right, don't judge me. Judge your mama. Eucalyptus and aloe bar. It is a cold pressed soap, handmade eucalyptus aloe bar, and a sinus clean eucalyptus with cooling undertones of aloe vera. And it's a big bar, y'all. Like this, a big bar. And I'm pretty sure on her website she probably sell this soap. This bar alone is probably $15. And I know the sanitizer is probably $10 to $15. But anywho, go to her website, enjoy Moonbeam Body Therapy, and if you are the winner of this amazing gift, I will mail this to you. Or if you're in Houston, I'll just bring it to you. And then she has she included some thank you cards and a little notepad from Moonbeam Body Therapy. It's an amazing company, as well as it is a Black-owned company. Support Black businesses. So let's hop into the rest of our episode. As well as if you are a business owner, I'm always accepting business promotions. And so if you have a business to promote, please email me at LynetteC90@gmail.com. Lynette is spelled LENETTE, the letter C, 90@gmail.com. Now, our show quote for today is, you never reach your true potential living life in comfort and routine. You got to take some risk, by Kylie Francis. Now, granted, today is a very big opportunity for me. I'm not gonna get emotional. I'm not a punk. Don't cry. So today is my first episode going live with my web show on an international global podcasting platform such as Get Vocal. So please download the app, subscribe to my channel for the show, as well as there is a VCoin button, and it is a blue diamond somewhere on your screen. That I'm an independent contractor for Get Vocal. So that means just like you tip the great servers that you have at restaurants, you can tip your favorite podcaster, me. Got it? Good. Now, as well as the top VCoin tipper for today's episode is going to receive a Starbucks gift card. And I'm covering the amount because trust me, there's some dollars on here. It is a good amount of money on here. And you can go to Starbucks like 4 or 5 times with this amount of money. So the highest VCoin tipper on today's episode will get your Starbucks gift card, and I will mail that to you. As well as, Or, if you feel like blessing my soul, tip me. V-Coin, right there. One of those corners. I got to figure out where these corners at. One of these corners is a blue diamond. Now, we're going to hop into the episode. First, we're going to start off talking about social media culture. I want to for sure let everybody know, please keep in mind that life is a marathon. It's not a race. It's not about who gets to the end of the race the fastest. Life is about how you go through the marathon. Because trust me, I'm a new runner. Running was not my thing before, I think like 2 months ago. And when I was trying to force this race, like this run, this mile and a half run in 15 minutes or less, I was not passing. It was bad. So I was more focused on how to get to the finish line versus, no, I was more focused to getting to the finish line in time versus how to get to the finish line. I was running wrong. I was not breathing correctly. My steps were too wide. I didn't have a good runner stride. It was bad. But now, after I realized that it's how you run and not how fast you compete to get to the finish line, everything's a lot easier for me. Same thing to go to social media culture. You go at your own pace. Don't let anybody on social media make you feel like you are in competition with them. Because that's the most irritating thing in life, especially for sure. Y'all got those people like in real life. You know in real life that they are absolute stunners. I've seen people post videos and pictures in somebody else's car, knowing they don't drive their car, or I've seen them with knowing they owe back pay on their child support, but they stunting in like some nonsense. Like I don't know, like the stunners, like they out to eat every weekend, but they owe somebody money. Like it get bad. Never compare yourself to people you see on social media. It's cool to have things. It's better that it is cool to have nice things. But if your priorities aren't in order, then you're not going towards the right track in life. So don't start. And not everything you see on social media is true anyway. Stop believing everything you see. Like for sure, I had a bad habit of comparing myself to a young lady I grew up with. We grew up in the same dance studio, and we were the same level of greatness growing up all our lives. And it was like, well, why can't I be where she is? Or why can't I do the things she's doing? And I had to realize that wasn't God's path for my life. So the sooner that I accepted that my journey is different than somebody else's journey, the easier it was for me to realize you cannot compare yourself, because comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the number one thief of joy. That's what that quote is. Boom. So social media culture can really irritate your soul sometimes. Now, granted, if you're having people on your social media that are literally irritating your soul, for sure, because election season is coming up, and that's when you really realize those people that are racially motivated towards a certain candidate, or that are, okay, I'll just put it out there. If you have some friends that are being really ugly towards race and all these other things of the natures, and you're like, man, I really probably should not be their friend. Instead of battling with people on social media, because I have made it a pact, I will not argue on social media about racial injustice anymore, because I've gotten into it with old coworkers, captains at my old airline, and people's true colors are coming out. And it's like, what was all this energy when we were working together? Like, why didn't I know that this is who I was working with when we were working together? So instead of me getting upset at what they post, do yourself a favor. Social media culture influence, clear your whole social media out. Start deleting people. Who cares? You're not getting paid for the amount of friends you have on social media. So if they're really irritating your soul, press that delete button. Or if you don't want to, if you know them further than social media, because I do feel like a lot of people are really showing their true selves on social media. If you know themselves further than social media, go ahead and either like privately say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and mute you for like 30 days. I'm going to mute you until we get a new president. Whatever the case may be, whatever's best for your social media situation. Just don't keep people on your social media that are going to irritate your soul, or people that are bad for your influence. Like if you follow people that you know, now unless you are white, I will say that some of the people I went to high school with or know in life, I keep them on social media because they are amazing ratchet entertainment. But if some of these people that you follow on social media are bad for business, then you gotta cut them off. Just like in life, you're not gonna keep a bad boyfriend. You're not gonna keep a bad husband. You're not gonna stop your child from being greater in life. You're gonna fix these things. So fix your social media, wipe it clean, have a better influence. You don't gotta keep nobody you don't want to keep on social media. Period. Now, the next subject on today's show, we're gonna talk society and social issues. Now, I was really a bit iffy about doing this section of the show. So it's titled KKK versus the BLM. So Ku Klux Klan versus the Black Lives Matter movement. One of them was a hate group, and the other is a civil rights group. The difference, I don't even have the definition of KKK. Like, what's the best definition of KKK that y'all can think of? A hate group is probably the easiest way I could put it, or more so. The KKK was a group that decided to put themselves together, put on white sheets, and put holes in the eyes and a little breathing hole for the mouth, and then they decorated it with some sashes. And they really caused turmoil in the United States as far as African Americans went, for living in the U.S. during the Civil Rights Movement, during segregation. I was about to say congregation. During segregation and the whole slavery thing. Like, KKK was not a positive group. They did nothing to uplift the community. They did not fight for rights that made sense. Like, the KKK was a group that fought for the continual separation of coloreds only and whites only. They had ugly values. Not only did they have ugly values, they lynched and killed and burned and tortured so many African Americans across the country, that the number is ridiculous. Then there's no way. My biggest irritation is how people compare Black Lives Matter is just like the KKK. Absolutely not. And the quicker, if anybody is listening and you do have that visual in your head that you think the KKK and Black Lives Matter is in the same boat, you're absolutely wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. Because Black Lives Matter is a civil rights movement that has not taken a life. We haven't lynched anybody. Black Lives Matter civil rights movement hasn't burned down anybody's home. We ain't hung nobody in front of the house or anywhere. We haven't hung anyone. We haven't caused harm in anyone's lives. And for those of you who are saying Black Lives Matter were the ones that had the violent protests, or Black Lives Matter is the cause of the looting and that happened in the current protesting rights involving George Floyd. Absolutely wrong. Please stop comparing looters and protesters. They do not belong in the same sentence. Protesters protest. Looters looted. Those that were looting went out there, broke up stuff. They caused damage to property. They were absolutely ridiculous, and they caused damage to the properties, and they stole those goods. Those are looters. Black Lives Matter protesters were not out there looting. Do not confuse the two. And don't be like, well, yeah, they did it during the Black Lives Matter protest. It was more people, two things. It was more people causing damage to property, spray painting buildings, and being violent that had nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter movement, that were posing as Black Lives Matter protests, that actually ended up to be off-duty police officers and like people just posing as Black Lives Matter protest supporters, and they were not. They were out there to give the Black Lives Matter movement and civil rights movement a bad name. Two, anybody that was out there stealing stuff during the looting, during the Black Lives Matter around the protest that had happened around, they were out there to steal. They were not out there to protest. And it was a lot more white people and people that were not of color out there looting, along with some black people that were out there looting. They were not there to protest. They were out there looting. So it was a lot more white people out there looting. They got videos of white people and people that weren't, I'm gonna stop saying whites and blacks. They have videos of people that were clearly not out there for the right reason. They were walking in and out of stores with handbags full of stuff, boxes full of stuff, bags full of stuff, carts full of things. Like, and it wasn't right. It had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter movement. So please quit putting protesters and looters in the same box. Absolutely, there's an absolute difference. Now, what I will address at this time is the negative stigma that everybody are pressing about the comparison between George Floyd's national death uproar and this child, Cannon, Hinet. I can't pronounce his last name. But to sum it all up, people are asking, like, where's the Black Lives Matter? Where's the Black Lives Matter movement? Why are they silent now? Rah, rah, rah. When Black Lives Matter had... Matter of fact, 1 second. I'm going to pull up this video, and it is going to... She cusses, all right? She cusses a couple times. Forgive her, her words. But let me... Thumbs up. If you can hear it, let me know.
Where's all the outrage? Where's the riots? Where's the protesting? Why are we not burning down buildings for this little boy Cannon? Why? Because Cannon's killer got arrested immediately. Ahmaud Arbery's killers took him 3 months to get arrested. And where are you bitches at right now for this kid? This white cop put his autistic son in the freezer to die. Social services have been to his house numerous times. And guess what happened to him? Nothing. And guess what you All Lives Matter are doing? Nothing. You certainly haven't maintained this kid's legacy. Oh, and you back the blue too? Where are you guys at for this guy who just got fired? And you same people came out defending this guy when he shot this kid. You guys are fucking sick and twisted for using deceased children to make an apples to oranges argument. You guys have made it abundantly clear that all lives don't matter when black and brown try to matter.
Now listen, she said a mouthful, right? A whole mouthful. The argument is literally apples to oranges. Like, it's pecans to peanuts. Like, they don't make sense. George Floyd's... Literally, I do believe that the actions of the police officer is what caused the international or the global riot for George Floyd. And a lot of people are like, oh, he had drugs in his system, and the autopsy said that was the cause of death. Really? Right. Let's not... Okay. So, granted, it has come to light that the child Cannon that was shot, the 5-year-old that was shot in his front yard by his neighbor. It came to light that the man that shot him was also his dad's friend, neighbor, as well as his meth dealer. Him and his dad had got into it. Cannon's dad and the meth dealer, or the neighbor that shot the young boy, had got into it. I guess the man shot the kid while he was high. It doesn't matter. The man was apprehended within 24 hours and denied bail within 24 hours of what he did. George Floyd's officer was just fired, if I'm not mistaken. He was just fired. Ahmaud Arbery's... It took 3 months for them to arrest them people that shot Ahmaud while he was running. Granted, Breonna Taylor's killers have not been arrested at all. And this is the issue. So why everybody's come talking about where's Black Lives Matter, where's the movement, where's the rah, rah, rah? We're protesting for justice. So if it makes no sense, Black Lives Matter protesting for justice. If this kid did not receive justice, of course, we want equality. Black Lives Matter is a civil rights movement that is loud and what's the word I'm looking for? Is loud and rowdy and pressing for equality. Prosecute that, yes. The man that shot that baby in the head, prosecute that man to the highest degree, put him under the jail, don't let him see daylight. But make sure that we're doing this equally across the board. What's the point of y'all are yelling for Black Lives Matter to not be silent? His killer was apprehended. If George Floyd, he was being held down on concrete from the chest down by 3 or 4 other officers. There was absolutely no need for that officer to put his knee on George Floyd's neck. He was already being held down. So in my mind, and I'm pretty sure in everybody else's, I'm pretty sure that the riot would have not happened if that man wouldn't have put his knee on his neck. It was irresponsible. It wasn't good policing. My best friend is a police officer. I know good and well she ain't about to put her knee on nobody's neck because she know it ain't right. That's a crucifixion for no reason. And then what irritated me more so, the man had his hands in his pocket and was resting his body weight on through his knee on George Floyd's neck. But y'all want to argue that his actions didn't receive justice when that man still hasn't been there. There's been no precaution, or not precaution. There's been no what's the word I'm looking for? The officer that put his knee on George Floyd's neck has no repercussion. There has nothing's going on with him. He's chilling. If I'm not mistaken, when he get fired, did he resign? I don't know. If he did, I think he resigned with his pension still in hand. Like, he still got all this money from the department while leaving his job. Like, does that make any sense? No. And so that's the equality we're fighting for. So those of you that are asking, the comment that irritated me most on Facebook, and this is why I said I am not going to argue with people on Facebook anymore. I got called a racist 4 days ago for bringing to the light that civil rights, the BLM protest is for equality and equal rights across the board, police brutality, that it had nothing to do with the kid being shot in the head and then his shooter being arrested within 24 hours, charged, denied bail, and he's facing life in prison for first-degree murder. Like, that's what I was arguing, because my point makes sense. People on Facebook was like, this adorable white child didn't fit into Black Lives Matter narrative. The stupidest thing I read on Facebook that day. Please tell me how his life mattered more. A man told me, he said, Keisha, please tell me how Floyd's life mattered more, and you can't demand justice for this adorable child because he's white and not black? Well, in the same situation, there's a black kid that was shot just like the Kickin kid, and there were two different GoFundMe accounts for both these kids, and the black kid, till this day, I took a screenshot of it. Guess I didn't. The black kid has, like, if a little under $2,000 in his GoFundMe account. The Kickin kid has multiple thousands, like a big amount of thousands in his GoFundMe account to donate to this family. Now, if we're going to talk about equality, where's the equality? And again, drugs are a horrible situation. So apparently drugs were obviously there were drugs in George Floyd's system. Like, another irritating thing I seen on Facebook was, how can a drug addict like George Floyd's life matter more than a 5-year-old kid? There's no comparison. Again, it's apples to oranges. There's no comparison between the two, so stop putting them in the same sentence. As well as the uproar that y'all are looking for, Black Lives Matter would have a voice in this uproar if it was any type of civil unjust, and there wasn't. Like we said, I've said it 15 times on this show today. His killer was taken into jail, denied bail, probably sitting under the jail. God knows what they're gonna do to him in there. So stop putting the two in the same sentence, because it don't make sense. As well as, oh yeah, I gotta read this. Floyd's murder was internationally discussed because of how he was murdered. The cops' barbaric actions is what led to the uproar. You can't blame Black Lives Matter for what the media chooses to focus on and doesn't, as well as for justice that baby was served. So let me make that make sense. They're asking, where's the uproar? There is no uproar because his killer was apprehended, denied bail, said it for the 15th time. The people that are upset because Black Lives Matter, they're like, oh, well, where's the media? Where's the media uproar? You can't get mad at a civil rights movement and then not blame the media for not pushing the agenda. So social media pushes the agendas that they want. For sure, Fox News and Channel 11 and CNN and all these letters that have all of these big news outlets, they push what they want to push. So write letters to them on why there's not a big social media or national bigger uproar about this child's death. Yes, this child is going to get justice. Anybody who was killed in any manner by any color of anybody, persons, bodies, or people, they should face the penalty that serves justice. Justice. Regardless of color. I can't repeat that more. Justice. Okay, equality, justice. Put that man under the jail, like I said. Make sure he don't see the light of day. Please, to wrap this topic up, please stop comparing Black Lives Matter to KKK. It's a difference. And stop putting protesters and looters in the same sentence. There's a difference. Yes, all lives do matter, but all lives can't matter until they're created equal. Black lives need to be just as important as the white lives. Hispanic lives need to be just as important as the white lives. Indian, Middle Eastern, African, all the other lives that are not white, that we all need to be equal. Everybody needs to be treated equal across the board, and that's what the Black Lives Matter movement is about. Yes, all lives do matter. I fully agree with you guys. But all lives can't matter until all lives are equally treated or treated equally. Boom, that's that. Now, let's talk about spiritual maintenance, because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I've had 2 anxiety attacks since April. And they get real ugly too. It's like the anxiety attacks where you in the shower and you feel it coming all day, and your chest just heavy. You're like, oh, I need a good cry. And then like it's the little hay on the that break the horse's back. Yeah, it'd be something real childish. Like I was about to get in the shower and my blood sugar monitor was loose, but I needed it to last a couple days on my stomach, and I felt heavy because I was under such a lot of pressure. Because as you guys know, flight attendants and people in the airline industry are facing a heavy dilemma right now with COVID-19 and how it's impacted the airlines and being furloughed and rah. And in my head, I was like, God, I didn't finish college. I don't know what's next. Like, I got to start over. Like, what am I going to do? I've been flying for 5 years. So the first anxiety attack was because of that. And I felt it coming. I felt it coming for a while, but I was trying to fight it, praying and trying to keep my spiritual maintenance intact with God, because I believe in the Lord. And, you're in the car and you feel the cry coming on, like, don't cry, you ain't no punk, you got this. And I'm drying off in the shower, and I like wipe my body a little too hard, and the blood sugar monitor thing came off. And that was it for me. I was like, oh man. And I stomped my foot. I cried like a toddler, like it was bad. My boyfriend was like, oh, don't cry. I'm like, it's just a lot. So I had an anxiety attack. But in the midst of all that, I had to continue praying. There are some ways to keep up with spiritual maintenance, and I got them. So, I know I love to cite my sources. So 7 ways to improve your spiritual health is being brought to you by, one second, gotta scroll down. It's being brought to you by the Illinois State Student Affairs Health Promotion and Wellness Program. You can find this online at their website at the Illinois State website, or you can just go to Google and type in 7 ways to improve your spiritual health. And this article is coming up because I'm reading it to you guys word for word. Now, the definition of spiritual maintenance is the process of maintaining or preserving someone or something, or the state of being maintained. Now, a car with a full tank of gas, you can use the car. Boom, you're driving. You use all the gas up, and then what? You need more gas. You can't keep going if you don't have no gas. So put that analogy towards your life and your spiritual maintenance. You got to stay spiritually intact with yourself. Make sure you're praying and keeping everything together, because if you don't, you're going to crash or you're going to run out of gas. And that whole saying is, you filling everybody up or you doing all this, who's going to refill you? I don't care who you believe in, what you believe in, how you keep your spirit in line with what you believe in. Find ways to do it. I just got into yoga, so I'm a yogi now, beginner. I bought me some blocks. They hurt when you stretch, be careful. But that helps me for some of my spiritual maintenance, is to loosen my joints and stretch and things like that. That's actually one of the ways that I'm going to read. That's number 4. So number 1 is explore your spiritual core. By exploring your spiritual core, you are simply asking questions about the person you are and your meaning. Ask yourself, who am I? What is my purpose? What do I value most? These questions will lead down you a road where you think more in depth about yourself and allow you to notice things about yourself and help you achieve fulfillment. One thing I realized about myself is this quarantine has driven me nuts. I like people interaction and the fact that it's not safe for you to be around a bunch of people at this time. And the fact that I literally, it felt like I was snatched out of the sky and stay and like taped to the ground. And I'm used to being everywhere, flying everywhere, being in a new city every day. And I can't do that because it's unsafe. So it was like a lifestyle change for me. I had to figure out what keeps my mind from going nuts. I had to figure out a way, like Zoom calls and there's some house party app. Me and my friends had a game night via house party app to keep, our social alignment together, and that helped. So the second way is to improve your spiritual health. Look for deeper meanings. Looking for deeper meanings in your life and analyzing occurring patterns will help you see that you have control over your destiny. Be aware of this so that you can achieve a happy and healthy life. Looking into deeper meanings like, I don't know, like astrology, I'm guessing. I've also explored astrology, and I've learned a lot about myself during this quarantine through my zodiac sign. So being a Cancer, I already knew I was emotional. I cry about anything. I already knew I was an emotional wreck. But I learned my Mercury, my Venus, and things of that nature, and it helps me look into deeper meanings on why I feel certain ways at certain times. I figured out what my moon was, stuff like that. So look into it. There's actually a website called Cafe Astrology, and if you know what time you were born and the city you were born in, of course, and it shows you all of that, breaks down the meaning of a lot of things. You can find out a lot about yourself. Now, the third way to improve your spiritual health is to get it out. Expressing what is on your mind will help you maintain a focused mind. After a long day or significant event, you may feel confused and not be able to make sense of your feelings. So by writing down your thoughts, you may be able to think clearer and move forward. Whatever your outlet is of getting what you feel off your chest or what you think out of your head or dealing with it, do it. I write, I dance, I stretch, I work out, and for sure working out helps me release a lot of helps me get it out. Yoga, I already told y'all, try yoga. Yoga is a physical technique that can help improve your spiritual wellness by reducing emotional and physical strains on your mind and body. Yoga is taught at all different levels and can help lower stress, boost your immune system, and lower your blood pressure, as well as reduce anxiety, depression, fatigue, and insomnia. I'm a beginner at yoga, and so what I did was I set up my TV, put it on YouTube, or one time I got my iPad, and YouTube has all these beginner yoga things, like videos. I got beginner yoga videos, and I do one for 10 minutes in the morning. They have yoga for everything. They got yoga to release stress on your lower back, to release gas out of your muscles, joints, and your body. They got yoga for everything. They got beginners, intermediates, and advanced. And then, like, go on Amazon. They have yoga mat. Matter of fact, next week I'm gonna give away a yoga mat and a yoga block set. So make sure. Oh yeah, that book that Ashley's holding up. It's a great book. Next week I'm gonna give away a yoga mat, some yoga blocks, and a stretch band. So make sure you're watching next week so you can get your whole new yoga set on Keesh. I'll mail it to you, have it shipped to your house, and we can get it popping with some yoga. Now, the fifth way to improve your spiritual health is to travel. I can't express enough that you got to get out of the city you live in. You got to explore. It took me a minute. Matter of fact, my mom was the hardest person I had to, and she works for an airline. She was the hardest person I had to convince that there is more to the world than Fort Worth, Texas, because we're from Fort Worth. I was like, hey mom, let's go out of the country. She was like, not until Trump not in office. Like, she was not with it. It took my nieces because grandkids get anything. It took one of my nieces to be like, hey Nana, let's go to Paris. And she was like, nah, let's go to Paris. And mom was like, yeah, let's take her to Disneyland Paris. I'm like, wait a minute. What? I was like, you know, Trump's still president, right? Like, you really want to go? Like, Paris, you really want to go? She's like, yeah, let's go to Paris. And I'm like, okay. Traveling helps. And long story short, traveling is great. Traveling, taking time to yourself to travel to comforting places or somewhere new can do wonders for your mind. When you're at a place where your mind can keep out distractions and help you reflect and rest, you have a better connection with yourself. This allows you to weed out stresses and set your mind in the right path for overall wellness. Some activities to take part in when on a trip could be exercising, speaking with a counselor or advisor, meditation, or a temporary vow of silence. Traveling is great. I've been to Dubai. I've been to Paris. I've been all around the United States. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Dublin, Ireland. I've been to, yeah. I think that's it. I don't have time to do all the states because a lot of states and I ain't got time. Actually, but I'm a flight attendant, so hey, I go everywhere. Traveling really releases a lot for me, and it's a lot. So even if you travel by yourself, that's great. Find somebody to travel with because you ain't too safe to be traveling the world by yourself. We don't want nobody to get sold. My childish fact about me, I have a big fear of traveling by myself and then getting kidnapped and being sold on the black market as a sex slave. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's one of my biggest fears. And so I don't travel alone. Traveling with somebody always helps. As soon as COVID is over, I'm gonna try to, get a travel group together, go on like a couples travel or something. I don't know. I'm gonna do it because I'm tired of sitting within Texas. I got to get out of here. Now, the sixth way to improve your spiritual health, think positively. You for sure can change everything, every situation that you're facing by changing your attitude towards how you think. Now, once you start viewing things in your life in a positive manner, you will find yourself thinking differently and refocusing your mind to a happy and healthier place. When you eliminate negativity and reframe how you think of certain things and situations, you notice yourself being more relaxed. I can't stress enough how you change your mindset. Your mindset depends on how you will turn out on how you deal with certain situations or all situations for that matter. If things are absolute trash or a situation needs to go how you want it to go, find the positive in it and focus on that. Again, for sure in life, don't focus on what you can't change. Focus on what you can change. Like this whole Corona COVID thing, we can't change it. The new normal is you can't leave the house without a mask. So instead of thinking negatively about it, accept it, move forward, put your little mask on, be dazzled if you need to, be safe when you go out to places, wash your hands because some people are so nasty. Stop coughing in public and all that nonsense. If you cough, cover your mouth right here. This is the safest way to cough. Okay, boom, with your elbow. Stop coughing in your hands and touching stuff. Passengers have the worst habit of that, and it's so nasty. Anywho, the sixth way to improve your spiritual health is to take time to meditate. While managing your time and daily tasks can be hard, it is crucial to devote time to connecting with yourself. Whether in the morning you wake up, during your lunch break, or before you go to sleep, take 5 to 10 minutes to meditate each day. Fitting meditation and relaxation into your lifestyle will free your mind and foster a stronger relationship with your spiritual wellness. Now, again, like I said, I have friends, boom. And listen, look into crystals and all of that because I charge my crystals with the moon and this, that, and the fifth. And I believe in God. I love the Lord. He loves me. And like I said at the beginning of the show, regardless of who you pray to, what you believe in, what you don't believe in, figure out how to spiritually maintain yourself. Okay. Praying, meditation, think positively, traveling, trying yoga, get it out, look for deeper meanings, explore your spiritual core. Don't be closed-minded to new ways to explore your spiritual health. A big point in that is, I know for a lot of my Christian followers, the rules of religion has gotten into the way of your relationship with Christ. And I'm not downplaying anything in the Bible. The Bible is written as rules to be followed, as well as there is an interference with today's life because times back then were different than times now. So things that were okay back then are not okay now. Things that are not okay now were okay back then. And there's a lot of contradiction going on between now and then as far as the Bible is concerned. As far as and one of the ways to eliminate that issue is improve your spiritual health. If you're a believer in Christ, figure out your spiritual health with God. Jesus wouldn't die on the cross. He wouldn't have died on the cross if it wasn't for if he didn't know beforehand that we were going to break rules and we were not going to be perfect like him. So don't focus so much on the rules of the religion. Focus more so on your relationship with Christ. I'm not saying go out there and be a heathen and break all the rules in the Bible. I'm saying focus more on your relationship with Christ, and explore deeper on the things that you've been taught, some of the practices that you practiced while growing up, things of that nature. So yeah, it's been a great show. Now, how am I going to give away this Moonbeam Body Therapy greatness? Again, this Starbucks gift card is going to the largest Vcoin tipper. So don't forget that blue Vcoin on your screen somewhere is how you tip your favorite podcaster. And the largest Vcoin tipper is going to get this Starbucks gift card. And I will let you know who you are so I can mail you this gift card, as well as this Moonbeam Body Therapy greatness that I want to keep for myself. I'm not gonna be stingy. I'm gonna send it to y'all. So let me see. And next time I'm gonna have this figured out to figure out how we're gonna give away this thing. If you can boom. Text me. Oh no, send me the name of the CEO and creator of the Moonbeam Body Therapy Company. Send me her name and what city the company was founded in. And this Moonbeam Body Therapy greatness is yours. And that's about it for today's show. My name is Keisha Carter. Please follow, subscribe. My Instagram is at InstaKeesh. That's KEESH. Subscribe to my Instagram. Follow my Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube. Guys, I am 4 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that is one step closer to being monetized. And listen, I've demanded and decreed a lot of things and spoke a lot of things into behind this year. And although we are in the middle of a pandemic, God is showing out. And YouTube is going to cut me my check, okay? YouTube is going to cut me my check for my first million this year. And I need more subscribers to get towards that step. And you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers to start the monetization process. So go on my YouTube, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. Because it doesn't make any sense that a 6-year-old can make $27 million on YouTube for playing with toys. Like, I don't. And I'm over here trying to figure out, do I want to keep flying or not? It's easy. I got the craft, might as well use it. So listen, subscribe to my YouTube, Kickin It with Keesh. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe and follow my Get Vocal page, Lee Vcoin Tips. Please stay tuned for next week's show. I will be promoting it in all my social media accounts. Swanisha will be making a appearance on one of my podcasts, as well as I will be doing a new show on Get Vocal with their comedy block called On Tickle Me Tuesdays. Next month, I will have my own comedy show via Get Vocal. So you'll get to see me 2 times a week. Once on Tuesday, that time is to be announced, as well as every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here for Soul Sundays with Kickin It with Keesh on the Get Vocal app. So, again, you're watching Kickin It with Keesh. My name is Keisha Carter, and we've kicked it. Bye, guys. Now I got to see how to turn this thing off.